Hey there, I'm Jeremy, and this is Guildbrook Farm. If you're new to the channel, quick recap. We are building a mountain house up here in the foothills of Appalachia. We're using insulated concrete forms from Fox Blocks. We've got the basement poured, and we've got our ledger strips in for the subfloor, we got our beam in, and we got our posts in. And today we're going to start working on our joists for the first floor subfloor. I think our heat wave is over. Yesterday was 65 degrees, so we were able to get a little bit done. Today it's a little bit colder. It is New Year's Eve day, last day of 2019. So I'd like to be able to get a little bit done before the weather gets bad. Also, shout out to Squarespace once again for sponsoring us in today's video. We appreciate their support. We use their website platform for all of our websites. If you're interested in creating your own website, stay tuned to the end of the video for more information on that. Let me tell you a little bit about what we're doing with these joists. Well, it's 20 foot 1/8 inch to the center on that wall, and it's 20 foot 3/8 inch to the center on that wall. So over 40 feet, it's only out of whack by 1/4 inch. And that might be because I was pulling it real tight and bending the foam a little bit, but that's pretty close. So also, the beam is only out of whack with a bow in it by 3/4 of an inch. So I have to bring the beam this way 3/4 of an inch to get it perfectly squared and centered. And so to do that, I'm going to install the first joist in the center 3/4 of an inch longer than that measurement right now. And that'll equalize that space with this space, and then we'll move on from there. Don't try that at home. That is perfect. Just a real quick thing for all you newbie builders. This is a framing nailer, or a fastening nailer made specifically for putting in joist hangers. The nail head sticks out so you can fit it right to the hole and then shoot the 1.5 inch nails into the joist hanger. Makes it super handy rather than trying to pound nails.
It's like a staple gun.
Kind of. There you go. And see how the point sticks out? Then you just kind of put it in the hole. Let me tell you a little bit about these joists. The span between those ledger boards and the center beam is about 14 foot 8 inches. So we could probably get away with using 2x10s for the joists. But we are using #1 Southern Yellow Pine 2x12s. Just, you know, anything worth doing is worth overdoing, I suppose. We're spacing everything 16 inches on center, mostly, except for when they fall on these hangers here. We have to move them a little bit, but that's what I've been working on, is figuring out my layout for that. So anywhere that there is a wall above, we are going to double up the joists underneath it so that no wall sits on just sheathing and no joist. Right now we got our scaffolding set up to move joist up here from the center this way. We're going to work in quadrants. So we're working on this quadrant right here, which would be the master bedroom upstairs when it's finished. And that's what we're going to work on now. First, I'm cutting the slice off the end so I have a square edge, because they're hardly ever perfectly square. And then I'll measure from there my 14-foot 8.5. Alright. I measure 14-foot 8.5 on both ends of the board. Now, even though this board is a really good board, they're never perfect. So a 2x12 should be, I think, 11 1/4. This is 11 1/4 on this end, 11 3/8. So it's 1/8 of an inch wider. Now, that prevents me from just putting my joist hangers up and then setting my joists in them. I have to put each one in individually because of the variance in this lumber. 11 3/8 on one end, 11 1/4 on the other. Now I can go measure and install the joist hangers before I put this up there.
Do you need me to shoot this next bit?
Yeah, come up with me and I'll show you what we're doing.
I freaking hate ladders.
Okay, first thing I'm going to do is get my laser turned on. When I first started setting all these ledgers, we set up the tripod over here in a place that could cover the whole perimeter of the building. And we won't move that tripod until we're done with the floor. So every day I put the laser on top of the tripod, come out here, reestablish my level spot like that. So this right here is level. If I turn the beeper on, so I know that what I did yesterday is still level, laser's still good. You know, if it rains and the tripod sinks a little bit, I have to adjust it to make sure everything's still good. So now that I have my ability to establish level, and I have my actual level, those two are level this way and that way. Found a little bit easier way to figure out where to hang my joist hangers, because all of this lumber is different widths. It's anywhere from 11 inches to 11 7/8. It's supposed to be 11 1/4, but they're all different. So that means I have to custom measure each one down the actual width of the board before I put the hanger on. So that's what I've been doing with tape measure, but I found an easier way to just take a combination square and set it to the exact width of the board, tighten it up. This one is 11 1/4, so I can come down from the top of this ledger exactly 11 1/4, which is the exact width of this board, as it turns out. So the bottom of the joist hanger here will be with the bottom of that board. Over there, it'll be different. Okay, that joist hanger's in on that end. On this end, typically what I'm doing is taking the level and going across the bottom here, which is level right there, go right up to the ledger board or the beam and trace a line on the top of that level, and that gives me the bottom of my hanger over here. So I clamp a block that I can just temporarily set the joist on and then work with it there and get it perfect before I shoot the nails in. This is a double joist hanger because we're doubling up the joists right here because they're going to be supporting a non-load bearing wall above, but for the master bedroom. And you don't necessarily have to, especially with 2x12s we're using here on this span, but so I think it's a good idea to definitely have enough support under your walls rather than have them sitting on just the subfloor with no joists underneath. And if you're going to do that, you might as well double them up. A non-load bearing wall typically has a dead load of 10 pounds per square foot, just for good measure. So that's why we have a double joist hanger. And this is the first of two that's going to go in there.
Snake in here.
Yep.
Okay, I gotta hold on to this.
That's all right. There we go. Okay, well, let me get my, hold it straight up. Okay, now come my way and set it down into the hanger. Good?
Yeah, I'm in.
All the way?
Yeah?
Perfect. Good job. That is perfect. That is 11 and 5/16, which will hang down just about a 16th. So take this little level because I'm a nerd. Make sure that's good. And my dummy block. So I can kind of square this up like that. Make sure it sits. Check. Check this. Perfect. Okay, the arrow points to the crown. So we flip it up, arrow up. And you can even see on the bottom of this board how the bottom doesn't really touch. So the crown's kind of doing this. So we get this up in here. Temporarily. And we come over, put the hanger on the other end. Set this beast on your little temporary ledger. Just come up a little bit. And That's pretty darn good. Actually, the thickness of the hanger may be just enough, which is probably a 1/16. Put the hanger. That's dead on. Come on. I don't know if you can see that. Let me turn on the beeper. That's pretty good. Oh, that's good. We're doing finished carpentry work in the rough framing portion. This is the straightest, flattest, most perfect joist I've done so far. It only took me 10 to get here. Last thing is to check the plumb. It's pretty good. All right. Get her in there. Too bad I don't have a fastening nailer. It'll shoot 3-inch nails. Well, we got 4 more joists to get in to finish this quadrant. Gonna have real bad weather the next week, maybe 7 days. Rain, sleet, snow. This is the time of year. Man, we've been lucky so far this year with nice days like this, but I have a feeling it's gonna start turning bad, get cold, freezing, snow. You know, when it rains or snows around here, we have to give it a day or two of clear days to dry out. So we're just trying to get as much done as we can. Right now we gotta finish this quadrant, so we're gonna get to it. All right, we got that quadrant finished. This has been a perfectly beautiful day. It's gonna wrap it up for today, but we got our scaffolding moved. We are ready to start running joists this whole side of the house, which will probably be the next video. And we're probably gonna do a dirt video, like I said, answer some questions. We've got a lot of questions about why we're doing what we're doing and all that. So stay tuned for that, and we'll see you in the next video. Thanks for watching.
Squarespace gives people a powerful and beautiful online platform from which to create your website. With Squarespace's blogging tools, you can tell your story, share your updates, and post your photos and videos on a scheduled basis that suits your needs. We've done that with our guildbrookfarm.com website and our guildbrookart.com website. Squarespace's social media tools authenticate with your social media profiles so that you can embed your content on various platforms without having to correct links and titles or tags. You can also use Squarespace's email campaign features to make your emails stand out and unify your voice across your website and brand emails. If you're interested in checking Squarespace out to build your own website, go to squarespace.com/guildbrookfarm to get a free trial and 10% off your first purchase.